thing. Been there and done that. And now you need something. You need something from God. You need it now. You're anxious. You said, Lord, if you don't give me that G.I. Joe boot with a Kung Fu grip, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, very seldom I get personal, but I don't be real personal with just young people. Can y'all hear me back there, young people? Y'all still my crew? You work for my crew, you going to get shaken because we ain't having that. Am I right? All right, GP. I remember when I was 22 years old, 24, 20-something, I couldn't get a job because I've been an athlete all my life, and I'm not going to go back those days. But you can imagine someone with a 19-inch neck and 20-inch biceps and a 36-inch waist. You can imagine that person. Nobody wanted to hire them. They were scared of me. And I told my wife, I said, Linda, I got to go to the Army. She said, why you want to go to the Army? It's because I want a dump truck. Oh, it's funny, y'all, but you understand how young people think. But you laughing is real serious with them. I said, I want a dump truck. And that man was telling me he's making $22,000 a month with that dump truck. I said, I want one as well. And so it was just after the Vietnam crisis, it was winding down. We're talking like 1972, it's winding down. In 68, it was all the way up. Now I said, I don't care about to go to war to get it. I want it. You said, that's so silly, but you don't know how young people think. Anybody got some young folks in your family? And you marvel when you talk to them and say, well, where you get this mind from? The mind of necessity. See, if you want something bad enough, you'll try to figure a way to get it. Oh, I ain't got nothing right really. I need some real folks so I'm going to talk to y'all now. If y'all can't be real, we're going to cut this service out in my closing. Tell your neighbor, let's keep it real up in here. Because we're talking to real people about real issues. And somehow when I laid down that night, I was convinced I was going to go and sign up for the Army because I wanted this dump truck. And the Lord, while I was asleep that night, the Lord changed my mind. Can I change your mind? I just want to change your mind. God changed my mind. I said, no, I don't need that. I told my wife, she said, thank God, because I prayed for you all night. I'm going to the Army. We don't need money that badly, but when you've been broke, when you don't have what you want, when everybody has more than you, when you're 22 years old and can't buy a new car, then it's a whole lot of mental adjustments you have to make to wait on God. Anybody having 22s, 24s, 30 years old in your family? Man, these are crucial years. These years can destroy you. They can take you and break you down because they're trying to get it now. Instead, wait, I say, on the Lord. See, when the Lord gives you stuff, you don't have to worry about it. It's good. It's real good. It's everlasting. It'll go through generation to generation. God want to give you a generation blessing, a generation breakthrough. He want to see so much power that you could give others. You could help others. And see, what we doing wrong as a people, we just trying to bless ourselves. But God never meant that order for you to bless yourselves. That's not the mind of God. And you got to retool yourself. Because we've been taught, go get this, go get that, go get a degree. But see, after you get all that, then you haven't really blessed anyone but yourself. When Jesus turned water into wine, did he turn it in for the governor, or did he turn the water into wine for everybody? Everybody. When Jesus fed the people with a Happy Meal, how many pieces of fish he had? Oh, y'all got really, he had no 18 pieces of fish. I'm going to leave y'all alone. He had 18 fish. He had about 40 loaves of bread. No, he didn't. Jesus had a Happy Meal. Y'all, come everybody, get the kingdom, get the kingdom. He has what? Happy Meal. And your job now is nothing but go and tell the truth. Happy Meal. Just working there to keep the lights on. said, let me show you what's up. He had 5,000 men, not counting the women and children. But the ladies are always more ladies in church than men, so he had 5,000 men there. And he said, put them down in seats of 50. I have 400 chairs out here. Put it down in seats of 50. And see, God will never bless you until you get in order. Y'all want a blessing from God, but you're not in order. You can't sing Tammy LaBelle and sing Shirley with the same voice. You got to get in order. When God blessed those men, you read every one of them that was blessed built an altar. And you falling down the road just 20 steps and they're millionaires. God didn't bless them because their mama was the president or their daddy was the bishop. God blessed them because they had their own relationship with him. Abraham's son, Isaac, had to leave home because God promised Abraham that you're going to have children and more children. And when Abraham died, every year he had a child. He's 90 years old, 99. When he got to be 100, he had a child 101, 102, 103, 104, 105. So you can't limit God to your understanding. If God decides for you to be a late bloomer, you're going to be a late bloomer. Told David, you king, right? David's a lad of a boy, but 30 years later, he actually becomes king. So everything that God gives you sometimes be delayed but never denied. And what kept David from being king? If God would have made David king at 17, he would have been kicked out the kingdom at 18. But God going to position it so that you can master what he gives you. Don't you want to master what God gives you? Don't you want to be able to hold your head up? Don't you want to say, God gave me this? And the kingdom demands that you know your God. God has this attitude, y'all. I was going to bring some more stuff, but I'm going to leave that alone. God has a fight. F-I-G-H-T. Y'all stop talking about that. Listen to me. God has the attitude. He loves what? And if you're fighting, God not going to give you nothing. God only bless fighters. In the crossfight, people that folks are trying to delay and deny and trying to tell them they can't make it. God said, well, let me be your God. So David, they didn't know him. They didn't know David. He on the block. Nobody paid him any attention. But God knew him. And when you have a prayer life, God knows you. Little simple things like, good morning, God. God, they tripping on me, Lord. God, I'm about to lose my mind up in here. See, but you're talking to him. Prayer is merely talking to God with a petition. I don't know why y'all think prayer is so hard. Lord, just moaning while sitting here. Once again, this is I, your boy, and I'm a servant. I come just to tell you, thank you. Oh, that's okay. That's homilistic prayer. But that's not going to prayer going to touch God. The prayer going to touch God. Lord, help. I'm about to lose my mind. And God going to send you some help. Paul didn't have time for all that. He said, we're going to die. And the angel came and said, no, you're not going to die, Paul. I have a prescription for you. I have a destiny for you. I have purpose for you. The second thing you got to understand when you're young purpose, you got to understand that God has purpose for your lives. Until now, you understand God wants you to come to rest. Then number two, he has what? Purpose. You weren't just made to be put picked on and bullied. God has purpose for you. God will never allow you come to the planet. At least he had a plan for your life. Are y'all listening to me? Now, the problem with the plan is It's beyond the scope of your understanding. It's beyond the scope of your power, your endurance. It's beyond the scope of who you are. Because God will never give you something that you could do yourself. God will only give you something that cannot be done outside of him. If God is not in it, it can't be done. So your dream must be a part of the plan. Whatever God have caused you to dream or you dreamt, it's a part of your God's plan. Am I making sense, y'all? The lady in Brooklyn, New York was 14 years old, and her father found some old computers because he was a computer man. And he would bring them home, and she would take them apart and understand the language, RPG, COBOL, all that kind of computer language. She would understand it. And finally, it just broke through to her. It was like writing a little note to a kindergartner. And she said, "Wow, I understand these computers now." It just opened up to her. 10 years later, at 29, she becomes not a millionaire, but a billionaire. Because she found something that they can do. She was able to bolster the security systems of all these people that own multi-million-dollar business. She had a contract to write for them not to be spied on, not to use that spyware. And it was so efficient that they offered her a contract of $3 million. Well, she went all over the world with the same thing. And at 29, she's a billionaire. That little 17-year-old girl somehow sat with those old tore-up computers, and somehow God gave her the understanding how to become a billionaire. This young lady that was making cakes, y'all seen it on the internet, she's making cakes and cookies and stuff. And she looks up, and now she franchising her place out to other people. She's well over $5 million, and she's not 20 years old. Ideas make millionaires, but every idea will cost you something to finish. God would never give you something that could be done in one day or even 1 year. But God keep laying this thing on your heart. So David's sitting there, and he listened to this guy. He had done all this talk to Saul in the 17th chapter of 1 Samuel. He told Saul, "I could kill that giant. The bear came, I killed him. The lion came, I killed him. And I could kill this giant. God has got me ready." See, isn't it something how God can take a bear and a lion, and now he's fighting Goliath, who is as tall as the bear and stronger than the lion, but God was letting him know there's some stuff you're going through now that you should have died in. That you shouldn't be here. You should have lost your mind with all that chaotic stuff going on. But God said, "I'm getting you ready for the next level." We don't understand the mind of God, but if you just stop and think how you made it through when you was about to commit suicide and take your own lives, but God kept you. Anybody listening to me? It's because God had you. I remember years ago when I abandoned the idea about the dump truck and all that, and I couldn't get a job. I had a job and they lay off. I had to go back. I got tired of yo-yo. Sometimes the devil make a yo-yo out you. You know, anybody know what I'm talking about? And you had to go in that industry and stay in it. But the Lord told me, "I'm gonna make you a carpenter." Man, that was crazy. How was I, Mom? I forgot the age. How am I? Was I 27? And God said, "I'm gonna make you a carpenter." Huh? 25 years old. I said, "God, I tried to build a doghouse the other day, and my dog wouldn't go in it. He went 2 days without eating because he wasn't gonna go up there and the dog gonna kill him. I mean, I fix his best food, and he wouldn't eat it. He looked at me like, I'm not crazy. I'm not gonna go in that trap. I had to thumbprints, her finger. Have you ever hit your hand with a hammer and stuff? You know, how many done that? And I said, Lord, I'm not a carpenter. I'm not. But God said, oh, yes, I made you for that. Well, you know, I'm thinking God made me a carpenter. I said, God, I want to be a carpenter because Jesus was a carpenter. He was broke all the time. He had a place to live. You know, I know all the scripture, you know. So, but the Lord said, I'm going to make, and come to find out, you know, I started making pretty good living. Able to send my children through college and buy a car and what have you, and get a church blessings. And I thought it was all good until God had me, I had to commit bankruptcy in 2019, 89, 88. I would never go into power source with the money I was making. Anytime you make $40,000 every other month, it's hard to leave that in 2026. What about in 1987? It's hard to leave that kind of money. I said, God, I get the church what they need. I get half of my money to the church. I don't care, but don't make me a pastor. Number 3, I had a chronic speech impairment. Every now and then you hear the list in my voice, but I have to fight my way through that. There's some things you got to fight your way through. There's some things not going to be perfectly given to you. You got to keep working, keep working, keep working. And eventually you're going to work your way into what God wants you to have. So now I'm bankrupt, 1988. I don't have anything at all. Everything that we had was depleted, thrown away, lost. We were stripped to nothing. Even some family members were scared that we were going to come by and borrow some money from them. And we had no intentions, because I don't care what condition you're in, God can always take care of you if you're in his will. I've seen people get their car repossessed, but I see God send them a chauffeur. How many know I'm telling the truth? And they pick you up and take you back to church. You had a chauffeur still complaining. But nevertheless, we in that place where we lost hope. And I want to talk to all our people. When you lose hope, you hope to die. The poem said, we dare not trust or give our angry scope. Something died in us, and that something was hope. When hope dies in you, you hope to die. Anybody had lost hope before? I bet some hands will go up. Anybody felt like you weren't going to make it? I bet some hands will go up. Anybody felt like the whole system was against you, and no matter what you do, it wouldn't work? But once you come to your senses and understand God brought you. See, sometimes it's not the rear view, it's not the front view, but it's the rear view. When you look back in that mirror and see where you come from and how God kept you, I'm going to go home about 5 more minutes, and you saw how God kept you, never left you, it's something that comes over you. And sometimes the devil only wants you to see the now. There's nothing working for me now. There's nothing going on for me now. I am in trouble now. I am broke now. Nobody understands me now. But just wait a second. Wait till the wind comes. God's getting ready to blow the winds. I'm in the kingdom. When the wind comes, it blow it, Jesus said, and you listen, but you can't understand which way it's coming or where it's going. All you know is that you've been born again. Everything is changing because the wind is blowing. Everything's being redirected because the wind is blowing. Israel later they was dead, but God sent the prophet. And God said, I want you to prophesy on the winds. You can't see what's going on. You don't know how it come, how you got there, but you know who's going to get you out of here. Look at somebody and tell them, I feel the winds blowing. When I can't get out, blow wind. When I can't see where I need to go, blow winds. And the winds start blowing. And I looked up, and somehow we was out of bankruptcy. I looked up, and for the first time, I was able to get a Lincoln Town Car. The next year or so, we was able to get a Suburban. The next year, it looked like the Lord started blowing the wind. Although I would have given up, All that my time of breakdown, the devil wanted me to break down. And many of you, you're at the place of breakdown. But I dare you just to wait on the winds. I dare you when nothing else can help. When every door is closed. When folks are talking you down. When you're talking yourself down and say you'll never come to nothing, just stand still. And tell God, my pastor said, wait on the winds. Isaiah picked up the story and said, have you not seen, have you not heard that the God of heaven fainted not? He gives power to them that have no strength. And the youth should grow weary, and the young man should utterly fall. But they, can I tell you, just shut up, stop complaining, stop acting like this anomaly that you're the only one going through this. And start saying to yourself, God going to get me out of this. Tell somebody, God is getting ready to get me out of this. I may not know how, and I may not know when, but I know he won't leave me like this. And David laid there, getting ready to face a man that just put 3 men on top to be his size. And David said, who am I? How he said, what is man? That I should be mindful of him. I remember when I was a shepherd boy and God anointed me. I remember when they came to kill me, but God kept me. I remember when my praise went forth and looked like it broke down some walls. When the enemy came up on me to eat of my flesh, you got to go down memory lane, baby. You got to not look forward. You got to turn around and let the devil know if he couldn't kill me then, he sure can't kill me now. You got to speak a thing into existence. I speak life upon myself. I speak a new beginning. I speak a memory that will last forever. I speak faith, the essence of what I need. And as you start speaking out your mouth, I can't understand you people. I can't understand y'all how that you can speak and stop drinking, using profanity. Stop stealing, hooking, and crooking because you want to be saved. But you can't speak your future. You can't say to yourself, look in the mirror, I'm a millionaire. I'm a what? Multi? Tell your neighbor, use your mouth for something creative. See, because your mouth creates your world. If you don't like the world you're living in, speak your new one. Somebody's in the wrong world. You're in the world of hate and strife and jealousy, but speak a world of peace. I speak peace over myself. I speak nothing missing, nothing broken, nothing moved, and nothing disturbed. I speak this over me. And I dare you if you start speaking it. We bought the first church. It was $300 rental. And I said to myself, God, how in the world? Now, you know, I remember now just a few years ago, $300 was what I used for my personal salary that week to make me run a week. The personal expenditures like buying food and stuff. Now, I'm trying to worry about how I'm going to pay $300 because I went through something so devastatingly hard that it tore my faith. It was torn. It was beat down. And sometimes you go through stuff so hard that you dare not trust. You dare not trust. Y'all with me? And my wife and my children found a building. And it was $300 a month. I told my wife, how in the world can we pay $300 a month? How can we pay this? And some of y'all now is at that $300 a month benchmark. And you wonder, how can you move forward? And the Lord said something to me I'll never believe. I believe it now, but those years ago, I couldn't believe it. He said, you weren't about $300. But pretty soon, you're going to be paying $300,000 with the bills. Now, you know, that was so devastating because how in the world can I pay $3? I mean, $300, and God tell me I'm going to pay what? $300. I said, man, I said, God, you sure I'm going to pay 300? He said, no, I'm sure you're going to pay 300,000. So we moved in the building. We didn't have the first month to pay for it. So the man gave me, he said, I'll tell you what I do. You pay $50 next month, you pay $100 next month, and the next month you pay the $300. Man, reluctantly I took that offer. See, God knows your tomorrow. God knows what you're going to be. You may not have it now, but God said you'll have it later. But between now and later, you got the rest. You got to tell God with your mouth, I believe God. Once you get that settled in your spirit, then you come to rest. You don't worry about what happens in between the stuff. You just know if God said it, it's going to come to pass. And God has said some things about y'all that you just can't believe because it seems impossible. Are you listening to me? It seems like you're not going to make it. It seems like everything is going to tear this thing down. I'm telling you, young people, I hope y'all listen to me. I hope you don't leave here and say, I don't care what the pastor say, I know I'm not going to make it. Well, you're going to die along the side of the road, but the one that can believe, the one that know that God didn't make you just to leave you, that God's going to keep you, and God's going to keep you standing. So we lived in the old neighborhood, the blighted neighborhood, like all y'all come from, don't want to admit, but all y'all come from South Park. And y'all, you know, there was no, what's that neighborhood behind us? Pearland. There was no Pearland back then. It was only South Park and the country. But you tell people, I come from Pearland. I listen to you because I know you're hurting. But I come straight out the hood. I preached in Compton. I look at those Comptonites. They say, I'm straight out of Compton. And they're real successful people now, but they're not going to get it twisted because they know where God brought them from. Don't y'all get it twisted. And you got to know where God brought you from. Somebody said, where God brought me from. Anybody listening to me? All right, here we go. Now, what, y'all looking at me? You got to keep your swag while you're going through. You can't ever let the devil see you cry. Anybody listen to me? So I'm in the hood and nobody want to stay there, so the people left all that land. I said, well, the Lord told me, said, buy that lot across the street. I said, Lord, you go to some neighborhood, nothing but sticks, and every now and then a raccoon will pass by. And he said he want to check the neighborhood because he's not quite sure if he want to put nests there. And so we bought a couple of properties for $250 each. And I said to myself, one lady came to our church and our house, and she said, the pastor lives here with that great word of faith he preaches, and he lives here. But see, you got to understand the plan of God. God has a plan for you. Not to destroy you, but to take you where you are to go. And in the plan, you're going to look kind of awkward in the plan. But if you stick to the plan, God is going to get you where you need to go. And folks going to be mad when you get there. Don't hate the person listening to the plan. So when you leave here, from the influence of my ministry today, you're going to leave here, right? And the devil is going to tell you, don't listen to him. The devil is going to tell you, have a pity party. The devil is going to tell you, what's the use? But what I want you to do is, I want you to stick with the plan. Stick where? Everybody says, stick with the plan. Now, God has a what for you? Say it loud. Come on, James. Say it loud, James Brown. And God going to work something out for you that that it won't make sense. My brother told me, said, Dave said, you're the only one that is lucky. Now, I felt like Tina Turner. What luck got to do with it? I'm blessed in the city. And I'm blessed in the field. Why don't you say it? I'm blessed when I come. I cast down every stronghold. See, it's not you, but it's your faith that you hand into God that will cause the strongholds to be cast down. It's your willingness to tell God, I'm yours, Lord. Everything I am. I don't have nothing now, but every person in the Bible that encountered God started with nothing. You can't name one person in the Bible that had something until they met God. And they was down in the bottom, but God pulled them up. Look at someone and tell them, I may be down now, but I can feel the pulling of the Holy Spirit. I can hear God telling me, up is where I belong. The Bible says, weeping may endure for a night. But somebody said, but. I don't care what it like, but. I don't care how broke I've been, but. I don't care how many folks have talked about me. But God is my shepherd. And I feel David's spirit on me now. Somebody need that attitude. Somebody need to know that God gonna get you out of this. Somebody may know that I don't care how long it may take. Help is on the way. I don't care who talks about me. Help is on the way. I don't care if I've been without a long time. Help is on the way. If I couldn't find enough money to buy food stamps, help is on the way. Because the Lord is my shepherd. And he won't leave me. David runs to the room. He said, I was young, and now am I old. But never. Somebody said, never, 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 never have I seen the righteous forsaken. Woo! I'm looking at y'all, I can tell all y'all testimonies. But I never seen you just get up and throw away and the devil just run over you. I saw you come to your senses. I saw you get your hands up in the praise. I saw you run around the church when you have nothing to run for. I saw you drive an invisible car.